Back with Bobby and JG Radio. If you're just tuning in, we've been speaking with Genevieve Flores and Aaron Johnson from UTSA about their upcoming Hispanic Heritage Games. So if you missed any of that, you don't have to cry. You go to bobbyandjjradio.com. Be a fan of our show on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Our guest that's coming up right now is Mr. Drew Hicks, which is originally from San Antonio. He's been with the Hemisfair organization for about 2 years, or almost 2 years. And he's a huge advocate for living and working in downtown. And our favorite thing about him is that he beatboxes every time that he's here.
Prove it.
Prove it. Let's see. But let's talk. Yeah. There it is. Finally. Now we're good. Now we're finally on the air.
Made it.
Yeah. So, Drew, let's talk about everything that's going on in Hemisfair. You guys were here last year.
Yep.
All excited. Had all these little outlines of what all these little graphs and pictures of what was going to happen, but we're starting to see it now, right?
Yeah.
We're actually going to go and physically go look and touch now, right?
Yeah, when we were here last year, we were still showing off kind of renderings and designs,
Sure.
and I think we had begun construction, but for a long time it just kind of looked like we were playing in the mud.
Yeah.
There was a lot of below
I didn't
ground
believe
work.
you. Yeah, I wasn't believing you for a while.
But we're getting close now. We're less than a month out from the grand opening,
Awesome.
which is October 2nd through 4th, and so it's real. It's happening.
Where are they planning for the grand opening?
Yeah, so we're going to start Friday, October the 2nd with a First Friday opening.
Sure.
So there'll be music and food and all kinds of stuff out there. Kind of a family-friendly spot for
Sure.
First Friday. Saturday, October 3rd is the ribbon cutting. We'll do that at 10 in the morning.
Right.
And again, all-day activities and stuff for kids.
Sure.
It rolls right into Sunday, which is all about art and exercise and activities. So there's stuff every single day to do. It's going to be great.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us all about the Yanaguana Garden.
Yeah, so Hemisfair, originally Hemisfair was a neighborhood
Sure.
before 1968. And in 1968, the city of San Antonio hosted the World's Fair there. And there was never really a plan. No, come on, man. You're looking good for what, 70?
Bob is a vampire, actually.
But there was never really a viable plan for what to do with that land afterwards. And so for the better part of 5 decades, it's kind of sat there.
Sure.
And in 2012, with the passing of the public bond here in San Antonio,
Right.
The organization that I work for got funded to go in and create an urban parks district. And I stress that word, urban park. It's not a suburban park. And
what's the main difference then if you're talking about an urban park versus all the suburban parks that we see around San Antonio?
So I think it's important for people to understand that difference. Pre-68, this was a community. There were homes, there were churches, there were synagogues, grocery stores.
Yeah, downtown.
And, and we want to bring that sense of community back to Hemisfair. And so there are going to be residences. There's going to be new buildings.
Sure.
But there's the vast majority of our land is parkland. It's free and open parkland. And so at scale, we'll actually have about 18 acres of parkland, 3 times what there is today. But when we talk about that urban parkland, it comes with residences. It comes with active edges, with businesses and tenants. Those give people a reason to visit the park, and they make the park feel more vibrant and more dense. So if you think about a suburban park, for folks in San Antonio, it's something like a McAllister or a Harburger park.
Sure.
Trails.
Yeah, trails, woods, things like that. An urban park is much more dense. So you think about Millennium Park in Chicago or Discovery Green in Houston. They have active edges. They have people living in the park, working in the park.
Right.
And you guys have a huge budget that you're working with, right?
Well, not enormous. We do have a little bit of money from the 2012 public bond. But a huge part of what we're doing is developing these P3s, these developable parcels, and we'll be collecting leases from those to fund operation and maintenance of the park. But a huge part of what we're doing is philanthropy, and so there's lots of money to raise. We have a charitable organization that's a separate 501c3 called the Hemisfair Conservancy.
Sure.
And the whole city of San Antonio came together in '68 to make the fair happen, and we want to see the whole city come together again to make this new Hemisphere happen.
I'll be there, I promise.
So what are some of your favorite parts of Yanaguana so far?
So my absolute favorite part, and I can't wait to open the park and actually show it off. The name itself is a Payaya Indian word that means spirit water, and so the descendants of the Payaya Indians, the Tapalam, came to us and sort of told us this creation story about the spirit water of the blue hole and how it bubbles up and feeds the headwaters of the San Antonio River. And there's this legend about a blue panther and an ahinga bird and all this crazy stuff, wonderful stuff. So when we decided to call the park Yanaguana Garden, we worked with a local artist named Oscar Alvarado to build 3 mosaic benches One of them represents the blue hole, one the Anhinga bird, and one is a 5-ton blue panther. They're covered in porcelain and glass.
Wow.
They're unbelievable.
Can you sit on them?
Oh, you can run on them, you can sit on them, you can climb on them. They're beautiful, beautiful benches. But the reason I love them is the word Yanaguana, the art Yanaguana, the park Yanaguana, it doesn't make any sense if you go 50 miles in any direction. It's so hyper-local.
Right.
It's our word for our place. It's our legends. It's just really cool. And I think kids are going to love it. It's amazing.
And you mentioned art, a quick takeaway. What kind of art are you guys featuring? Or what will be featured?
Sure. So Oscar's piece is one. There's also 6 other pieces of public art that are being installed as a collaboration with Public Art San Antonio.
Sure.
And they're all called Play. It's a 6-part installation that kind of explores the concept of play.
And Drew, how can some people get some more information about all this Hemisphere stuff?
Yeah, you can always find us at hemisfair.org. You can email info@hemisfair.org, and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew. We always enjoy you being here.
Thanks, man. Good to be here.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back.